Hi, my name is Brian Munn. I'm part of CityU's eLearning team, and today I'm going to share with you the plan for a course design workshop series we're developing. What led us to develop this workshop series? Well, we received feedback from our students that there's a wide inconsistency in the quality of courses and the student experience across the university. We found that some course managers haven't adopted the approved exemplary course design process. This problem impacts everyone, from the students who take our courses, the teaching and administrative faculty who manage student enrollment and retention, to our academic and university leadership who are ultimately accountable for the success of the university. After running a focus group with some key stakeholders, including instructors, administrative faculty, course managers, program directors, and academic leadership, these institutional priorities were highlighted. We need to increase student enrollment and retention rates. We need to streamline and standardize the course development process. And we need to work on developing flexible strategies for engagement between e-learning instructional designers and course managers. To help us organize our thoughts, here is our program's logic model. This model is adapted from Taylor-Powell, Jones, and Henert's logic model template. We'll explore the specifics in a moment, but what this model is illustrating is that if we invest these resources into these activities and get these people to participate, then these outcomes will occur, which will ultimately lead to the long-term impact that we're hoping to generate. So let's dive in. We took a look at what resources we have available now and what additional resources we might need to scrounge up to make this project happen. Many of these resources are interrelated, of course, but at a broad level, here's what we're working with. We've got the expertise of our instructional design team and the really extensive knowledge and expertise of our faculty and subject experts. We've got rapport with our course managers who have partnered with us in the past on the course design process and have become champions, and a few of them maybe would offer 4- and 5-star reviews of our course design process. And then some other things that we need to gather are time, of course from the e-learning team and from people involved in the course design process. There are some costs involved with course development, including paying our subject matter experts, any type of course resources that need to be developed or purchased. There's classroom space, physical space here on campus, and a virtual space in Blackboard where part of the class will be hosted. And then, of course, workshop materials, things that we print out for the workshop, or online materials that need to be created for the workshop. So there's a lot of resources that will go into this project. All right, coming back to our overview, now let's focus on the outputs, specifically which activities we're going to offer and who we would like to be able to participate in them. In the case of our workshop series, these activities take the form of courses that faculty can register for. Our first course, Introduction to Exemplary Standards, spans 1 quarter with 10 sessions that are in a workshop format, with group discussions and hands-on activities. The workshop facilitators, in this case the instructional designers, will model exemplary course design and collaboration with other course design partners. Our second course, Standards-Based Course Design, spans 2 quarters and will have 5 workshop sessions for guided practice, group work, and peer review and feedback. The instructional designers will facilitate exemplary course design and provide a space for collaboration with other course design partners. Our final course, Standards-Based Course Design Directed Study, spans 2 quarters and is fully online with workshop sessions scheduled as needed. Participants can repeat this course every time they design or redesign a course. In addition to providing a space for collaboration, this ongoing course will help maintain a streamlined and standardized course design process. Who will be participating in our workshop series? For our pilot run, we plan on inviting a small group of course managers and a few program directors. At launch, we imagine our participants will mostly be course managers, since they have the most urgent need for training on the course design process. As the program progresses, though, we'd love for other partners to join in, including subject matter experts, our academic leadership, the deans and provost, and hopefully even our university's executive leadership. We feel that these courses will provide essential skills and insight for all of our faculty who have a stake in course design. Let's talk about some assumptions we have for our program. Looking at the precedent set by a Canadian university who piloted a similar collaborative course design process, Brown et al. Noted that despite similar reservations on the part of the involved participants, with representation from the instructors, subject matter experts, instructional designers, and the dean, the participants involved recognized a few key benefits of the collaboration, including a multiplicative effect of diverse ideas, expertise, and experiences, a deeper understanding by the instructors, subject experts, and dean of formative and summative assessment approaches, and strengthened professional relationships that developed beyond the duration of the course. Letterman references a survey done by Inside Higher Ed, which looked at the relationship between faculty and instructional designers. Only about a quarter of faculty respondents had worked with an instructional designer on their courses. However, those that did work with instructional designers overwhelmingly appreciated the experience. 37% described it as very positive and 56% as positive. We believe that more successful engagements between instructional designers and course managers will lead to a better rapport among all course managers. After all, the best marketing tool is word of mouth. We also assume that as course managers streamline their processes for designing individual courses, program managers will be able to more effectively manage their programs and maintain courses on a programmatic scale. As the quality of our courses and the student experience in our programs improves, we believe that more students will want to enroll with us and will finish with us. So now that we know what will go into the program and why we think it'll work, let's talk about how it will work. Specifically, the outcomes and long-term impact our workshop series will have on our ultimate goals of increasing student enrollment and retention, streamlining and standardizing the course design process, and developing flexible strategies for engagement between instructional designers and faculty. Our first course, Introduction to Exemplary Standards, focuses on developing a foundational knowledge about the phases of the exemplary course design process, as well as identifying the elements of exemplary course design. We'll look at a few example courses that meet the exemplary standards, and then work together to revise elements of an example course to bring it up to exemplary standard. The in-class group activities will give participants practice in these specific areas: aligning course outcomes and module objectives, developing formative and summative assessments, creating scaffolding activities, and how to design the Blackboard shelf for increased student usability and a consistent student experience. The second and third courses, Standards-Based Course Design and its corresponding Directed Study course, will give participants the chance to bring one of their own courses through the exemplary course design process and really focus in on specific elements of exemplary course design. It's worth mentioning here that one of the tools we equip our course managers with is the Course Design Matrix, specifically adapted from Horton's recommended 3 types of learning activities for each module. Absorb activities are generally physically passive and mentally active. The learner reads or watches and listens. Do activities tend to require active participation by the learner, such as practicing, exploring, or discovering. Connect activities prompt the learner to make connections between the current learning and their own experiences and prior learning. What long-term impacts do we foresee as a result of this program? Well, as more course managers and other partners complete the Course Design Workshop series, the quality of courses will improve across the university, and student enrollment and retention rates will improve. Having a standardized, collaborative course design process will expedite the number of courses that course managers can manage, which in turn will make it easier for program directors to manage the maintenance of multiple courses in their programs. And finally, as faculty become more comfortable with collaborating on course design, the culture around the university will start to shift toward more frequent collaboration between different departments. I'll mention here, CityU uses a specific template called the Program Design Guide, or PDG, to map out the alignment between program learning outcomes, institution-wide goals, and where these are measured within each course in a program. Presenting the information in this way makes it more familiar to our academic stakeholders. There's a link in the description to open the PDG for our workshop series. Now let's look at some of the external factors to be considered. These are things which our program has little or no control over, but can still impact the success of our program in a positive or negative way. Most of these are interrelated, but let's address them individually. The first is time constraints. Many of our faculty are stretched pretty thin already and simply don't have much bandwidth to commit to an extensive series of courses or to spend on repeated cycles of approval and rejection by the school curriculum councils. The second is budgetary constraints. Being part of a small nonprofit university means that there are often competing demands for very limited financial resources. The third factor is buy-in from our faculty and leadership. We've worked very hard for the last several years to develop partnerships with our course design partners, but on the whole, many key stakeholders are not as committed to the exemplary course design process. This is also reflected in allocation of time and budgetary resources. Another factor to consider is the current perception of what role and authority the e-learning team has to guide instructional design at the university. Solomonson identified several archetypes of the perceived role of instructional designers, but the most relatable, at least for us, is the hired gun. This is essentially the idea that instructional designers are just there for operational and technical support and shouldn't have any input into the design of a course, but rather just execute the final product and make it happen. This isn't really helped by the previous name of our e-learning team, which was Blackboard support. After our focus group, it became clear that many faculty are unaware of or don't see the value in the other types of support that our team provides. The final factor we'll address here is common among many universities, a historical siloing of work between departments. Letterman cites Steve Kaufman, an instructional designer at the University of Akron, who says, "The art of teaching is exclusively a faculty space, and understandably, anyone who may be seen as stepping into that space can and will on occasion receive pushback." Well stated. A common sentiment expressed among our faculty is that being held to a standardized course design process and being encouraged to collaborate with other partners is perceived as a loss of their academic freedom and is met with some trepidation and pushback. So as we can see, there are a lot of factors that go into the success of our course design workshop series. We believe that the challenges we face are surmountable and will require careful consideration, planning, and execution as we move our own project into the course design phase. We also believe that as the program progresses and as we build momentum, rapport and collaboration will build between faculty and course design partners, and gradually we will be able to improve the quality of our courses, improve our students' experience, and ultimately increase our enrollment and retention rates university-wide. Well, folks, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for letting us share our plan with you. If you've got any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach me by email at munbrian@cityu.edu, or you can call me at 206-239-4798, or if you're in Seattle, drop by my desk on the second floor in the e-learning area. On the next slide, I've included a list of all the works I referenced during the presentation. They'll also be posted in the video description. Go check them out for more great information.